Hi, I'm Ethan Wray, and this is my collaborative Practice 2 video. Before this year, I spent my first 2 years at the Northern Film School kind of exploring all sorts of different aspects of the filmmaking process. So in first year, I worked in producing. In second year, I did a little bit of sound and gaffering, and even a little bit of production design on the experimental Saving It Next. For this year, I didn't really know where my kind of place was on a film set. I enjoyed all of the elements that I dipped into in the first 2 years. However, I still didn't really know where I was going and what I was doing. However, this year, I signed up to do 3 films. God is Great, Little Death, and Stiletto. Now, for all 3 films, I worked as a second AD. Now, what does a second AD do, you may ask? A second AD works with the first AD in tandem to help make sure the set runs as smoothly as possible. Where the first AD on the 3 films that I worked on focused on call sheets with the producer and the scheduling, my job was more on set and was to wrangle actors, wrangle extras, make sure that everyone who's not part of the core film school crew is as happy as they can be while they gracefully worked on our films. Now, my work as a second AD was not purely focused on making sure that the cast and some of the external crew that we had on all 3 films were happy. It was also to make sure that the crew was happy, to make sure that all of these entirely different people, who on some films were so many, for instance, God is Great had about 14 crew members, to make sure that they're all working at 100%. And I don't mean working as hard as they possibly can, because they all were doing that. Because everyone on the crew, thankfully, knew exactly what to do and were doing it 100% of the time. However, I was there to just kind of make sure that they were focused on what they needed to do. So there was no other background noise. To help in our aim to make a environmentally friendly picture to aid us with our green filmmaking, we, on all 3 films we worked on, especially God is Great, because we were out in the moors within nature, we were very diligent about the fact that we wanted to keep everything clear, so no trash, no litter, especially out in the moors. This was less focused on in Little Death, because we were all to aid in all of this. It was quite tough, because we actually had to go back to all of the places on the moors that we had been, which there was 3 separate ones, and I had to just look at the ground in this big space that we used to make sure that there was no litter on the ground. But there wasn't, and we actually, I'm just quite proud of the lack of litter about. There were a couple of like wispy filter containers, whatever the strips called. But other than that, the whole crew I was quite happy with when it came to that. Another aspect of green filming that we delved into was because Little Death had been moved, we were able to use props, recycle props from Stiletto, my previous film, for just for the little bits and bobs that we needed for Little Death. So we kept it quite, sustainable. From what I have done this year, I believe that I've been able to create a CV in which I could become employed as a second AD. I think that my experience now from working on those films has given me a very a nice way into the industry. I think there was one quote from the actor of Little Death in which he said that the set was run as efficiently as Emmerdale, which I'm quite proud of, because I think as someone who's a part of the crew and was especially part on the efficiency aspect of it, it was quite nice to get that vindication of hard work that I'd been putting in to keep on top. Obviously, this is a lot harder to do than say. So my plan really for post uni to get to that point is just do what I've been trying to do this year, which is just apply for as many running jobs and as many projects that I'm available to do, and just be able to meet some more industry connections who I can prove to that I can do this job, and so hopefully that can snowball into a larger and larger circle of people to do what I really, really want to do post-uni, which is I would love to be able to work to fund my own smaller short films to prove that I can take a higher role and a higher level of responsibility that I've been given at uni, and make my own short films, because I'd love to do that. I would love to make my own films, and I can't do that by myself. So that's also another reason why I do want, because it's kind of what I've been doing on these films, which is just schmooze is not the right word, but I have been just trying to smooze and charm people to work on ideas that I have that I will be making post whenever all of these are finished and due. In conclusion, I think the skills that I've learnt from uni, especially this year, have given me a really nice step into the industry that I'm heading into. And except for the occasional lecture, I think that the uni has helped me be able to more confidently know within myself that I can be employed in this industry. So thank you, and this has been my video. Cheers, goodbye.